Meets Girl, Volume 16. The theme is Back to Basics, inspired by the book Basics that my wife and I have written. We're going to have a great session. We are going to have a session of discussions, and we're going to have a session of interactions, okay? Do you mind marrying someone from another tribe? Do you mind marrying an un-Kenyan? Do you mind marrying an un-Kenyan?
That's not a topic for discussion.
Aha.
My name is Muhya. I think it's hypocritical of our parents to tell us not to marry from another tribe, but if you bring a white person, they will accept. Or someone from another country,
Yes.
they will accept.
How many of you have parents who you know would not be comfortable if you married someone from another tribe? How many have got parents like that?
My name is Wairimu. I've had these discussions with my mom. My mom is typical Kikuyu woman from the 40s. She told us from a very young age never to bring a Luo man in that house or a Luya man. And I like men from that side of the country. So what happened is one of my nieces is Luya.
Yes.
And two of my nephews are Luos. So what has helped me to have confidence, even talking to my mom about it, I'm like, just know I'm not bringing you a Kikuyu man. Just having those conversations that are respectful. It's not you're telling her, woman, you're not running my life. This is my life. I'm gonna bring you a Luo man just to spite you. It's just also having those respectful discussions. Like I asked my mom, why do you hate Luos? Like, I found my grandmothers and sijui who hating them. This is the case of people who are cutting the head of the fish and they had no idea why the head was being cut. And apparently the reason was because the sufuria was small.
Ah, all right. If you married someone from a different tribe and your parents gave you trouble, are you willing to oppose your parents for the sake of your relationship?
My name is Henry. Yes, you can oppose, but also just give your parents a little leeway. You can't just block them off that conversation.
You cannot just oppose. You have to consider. And this is true. I'm Luya. My wife is Kikuyu. And it was not easy, coming together. Don't know, just like, oh my gosh, you guys love each other. Get married. They're like, no. Why? Let's talk. And many young people don't have the patience to talk. They're like, why are you opposing true love? Eh? All right. Let's have, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Christine.
Hi, Christine.
Yeah, we won't not listen to our parents, but they have to have a valid reason. If my mom tells me I can't marry someone who's Luo, for example, and she just says, it's because we don't like Luos, that's not a reason.
Yeah, all right. So it must be a valid reason.
I had something to add. I think when a parent opposes in a way that seems ridiculous, understanding that they've gone through a period of hurt involving maybe a certain community and figuring how to bridge that, which might mean stalling your plans for marriage to a later date, would help, because whoever we are bringing home will be the brother to my siblings, the son to my parents. So I think understanding where the wound is and figuring out how to heal.
All right. Waturi and I know of a couple who we did our premarital class with. They were Kikuyu and Kalenjin, and the parents refused. And eventually the parents came through, and now the father to the girl totally refused. So they used the council of elders, because those are the people he listens to. He refused. They used the church. He refused. The guy is an elder in a church. He refused. They used the mom. He refused. So they postponed their weddings by a whole year, waiting for him to soften. Well, they were, speaking nicely to him. He refused. So now everyone was for the wedding except him. So now the pastor said, we've done everything, and we have honored God. Romans 12:18 says, as far as possible, as much as it depends on you, live at peace with all people. Said, we've done that. We are having the wedding. And they had the wedding, and the father said, I am not coming for that wedding. He didn't go for the wedding. And this guy's got a kid. He said, I don't recognize that kid. He ignored them. And it was only until these guys had a session where now they were sharing their story, and one of the family members had, and saw the amount of damage the dad had done. And she actually took a recording of that session and went and gave it to the dad and told the dad, watch watch, okay? This is how you need to look at yourself from the outside. I want you to listen, okay? I want you to listen to what's going on. And the dad's heart was broken. And he actually invited the family to come home for the first time after they'd been married for how long? 5 years. 5 years, okay? So those realities are real. They are not on the fringe. They are real.
My name is Lucy. So just to agree with the last speaker, that giving it time also helps, and prayer.
Yes.
I'm a Kikuyu, just like she mentioned. Kuna tribes tuliambiwa X. So hata venye nilisema ati I'm dating a Luya, I was like, what? Kaambia be hapa tutaomba. So like, let's say 1.5 years later, that's when mama ananiuliza, ulisema jina yake ya pili anaitwa aje? So as in I'm a soften after some time. So giving it time and pray about it.
Yeah, awesome.